getting on the same page was the main goal. I feel like as an offense for the entirety of the season, everybody has done a good job at individual times, but we haven't clicked at the exact same time. And I think that was the goal of those meetings for the 2 days that we did it. And, yeah, we're definitely going to continue doing those for the rest of the year and stay on the same page.
Similar to what I had asked Coach Zoe after the game, saying that, just with his injury, it did take time to build that on-field chemistry. How much have you noticed that start to grow week to week, especially of recent?
I think it's huge, especially he was kind of limited during camp. We didn't see any of him in the spring, so we had such a little amount of time with him because all of us came in, or most of us came in January, a few added in the summer. So he's got to build new relationships with us as people as well as on the field. And I think building that relationship as people takes a lot of time, and that's what really goes into building the trust. Knowing I'm on the backside and he can trust me to win my one-on-one. So him knowing me as a person, knowing I'm going to be where he needs me to be is such a big deal.
And then for you, it's your first Royal rivalry with JMU, but your second in-state or game against an in-state opponent. What is it like playing some of these Virginia-based teams and kind of the history, even you playing at Richmond, of like the energy behind them?
It's always fun because, they have guys that a lot of guys on our team have probably played against or played with. From the same area, somebody mentioned the recruiting aspect of it as well. The coaches know some of their guys pretty personally. I think it's fun. Everybody talks about who's the best program in Virginia, and you kind of get a chance to make your case in a game, especially this is our second in-state opponent. It's fun. I can't wait for it. Yeah.
Were you recruited by ODU at all?
No.
Do you look into that at all when you're going up against a matchup like that? Like they didn't recruit me, so I have something to prove at all, or do you not really feed yourself into that at all?
It's whatever. I was completely an FCS kid coming out of high school. No FBS programs really looked at me. The service academies talked to me for a little bit, but nothing really came of those. And I used it as motivation for a long time, but extrinsic motivation only goes so far. It's more of me proving to myself that I can play at any level. So it doesn't matter what a coach thinks about me in recruiting, because the coaches that were here believed in me when I was in high school. They believe in me now. So it is what it is.
I know it's early in the week, but what stood out about ODU's defense as have you all started looking at them?
Yeah, they especially the secondary, like Coach Chesney said, they do have a unique defense. They have that player, that extra safety, or I'm not sure what they call it, but yeah, he's in there, he's flying around. I think on film they play with a different type of confidence or swag that some of the teams that we played previously don't have. They fly around, they're really aggressive. They got some longer guys at corner, so it should be a good matchup.
Couldn't help but notice that 2 of your touchdown catches were in the red zone. It just seems like that's almost where you're at your best, is kind of using your athleticism just to go up and get the football, especially that third touchdown catch. Would you kind of agree that that's kind of a part of the field where you can really thrive?
Especially as a bigger guy, it's kind of where you want to make your money at. You want to be able to be that go-to guy in the red zone as a bigger body, whether it's the fade ball or just showing your skill sets, showing that I can run routes. Big guy can dance a little bit out there. I think, being in the red zone, I've had my high school offensive coordinator called it the gold zone or the green zone, a bunch of different things. That's where you make your money at, and that's where I want to make my money at.
I've got to ask, too, on the trick play that you scored the touchdown, you immediately went to the fans. I didn't even notice it on game day. What was that celebration like, just jumping up into the crowd a little bit?
I'm really glad you asked this question, because that was a long time in the making. I said it from the first week I was here. I wanted to do it on my first touchdown, but I was kind of scared I was going to get a flag. So I held it, scored 60-yarder, you get kind of excited, just popped into my head, and I was like, I'm gonna go do it. I don't know what you can name it. It's copied from the Lambeau Leap, obviously. We'll see if somebody comes up with a name for it, but we'll see. Might see it again, might not. Who knows?
I was going to go back to talking about being recruited and stuff. Like going through a school like Woodbury, I'm sure every program in the state and like all over the country comes through, talks to guys on your team and everything. Like, what was it kind of like seeing all those in-state schools come over and like not pay you as much attention?
In high school, it definitely it definitely hurt me for sure. I had two of my best friends were big-time recruits. One now plays at Notre Dame. The other one plays at Central Florida. And so we had whatever school, name it, they've been there. I saw a bunch of coaches come through. I kind of got over it and realized that some of those schools with the bigger names aren't gonna come talk to me. And I used it as fuel to get where I'm at today. And so I'm grateful that happened. And that I had those two great teammates that happened to be blessed with their ability to play football and have those schools come through, because it added some fuel to the fire for sure.
Maybe the Bruce Ford bounce?
I like that one. I like that one.
For you, again, this is kind of joking, but being an FCS receiver, now coming up to FBS, have you had to adjust your game or adjust your style, anything like that coming from Richmond to here?
I think coverage recognition is a way bigger deal now. When I got here, it kind of just clicked for me. I'm not sure what happened. I was talking to Cam about this the other day. It just clicked for me. You see it faster, and now that I can recognize coverages, I kind of know when I'm gonna get the ball, because I understand what Zoe's seeing in the backfield, and this guy's moving here, so I'm replacing that gap. And it helps with route running as well. You need to get a certain depth so the quarterback's ready to throw the ball. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I think the physicality piece was a lot different. I didn't see a lot of press coverage at FCS, and up here, especially when we got to spring ball playing against RDBs, they're all up in your face. They're really physical, and you can't ask for that flag the entire game because they're not going to throw it. So you got to learn how to get around that. There's probably a whole bunch more that I could say about it, but those two really stand out to me.
Safe to say, though, you've grown mature as a football player just in your time here?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it comes with age. I've seen a whole new defense, one of the best defense in the country for however many months I've been here. So it's helped me grow a lot. You see it every day. You see something new every day and you got a guy lined up across from you that you know is one of the best players out there. You're not going to see much better than him. So practicing against our defense has made me grow a huge amount.
Kind of wanted to start off with how Landon ended his, saying that, he was going up in practice against the best defense in the country. And for you, all 4 years you've been here, this group, despite coaching changes, has continuously produced high-level defense. What is it about this group of guys that continues to do that, even if maybe you guys weren't the most recruited out of high school?
Yeah, I think just the buy-in to what Hitch has been, promoting to us, and how he came in. He definitely came in with a little splash and fiery and passion. But, everyone throughout spring ball, summer, and even now, just everyone's bought in. We have so many walkthroughs, so many run fits, so many different things that, he always says, the air is thin at the top, and the little stuff can get you beat in certain games. So just trying to minimize those and just having the buy-in from everybody has been awesome.
How much does that buy-in help with you guys making sure you can click quickly on defense too? Because even from the start of the season, it didn't seem like you guys missed too much of a beat.
Yeah, everybody that came in has bought in to his philosophy and Chesney's philosophy. So it's been great just getting closer with everybody, hanging out outside of sports and doing stuff together. And, whether it's just going to eat or just having time after practice, just chilling and hanging out. It's been awesome so far, and I feel like everyone on this defense and on this team is just really, really close at this point.
I know we've talked a lot about Coach Hitch, but I wanted to ask you about Coach DeMike and just what it's been like growing a relationship with him over the last 2 seasons now, because it just, from the outside looking in, it just seems like a very tight-knit group in the safety room.
Yeah, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had in my lifetime. He's done a great job with us so far, and he coaches us hard, but he loves us even harder. So just letting us know that, and he's very passionate on the field as well, and his voice is heard. But he's just someone that we can go to talk to about anything in our lives that's going on. But he was a player in his time at Holy Cross, so he knows what it is. He's been through it. So just having him as our coach has been really awesome through these 2 years.
Do you see any similarities between Dean Kennedy's offense and what ODU runs, especially with what they do with their tight ends and some of the motion in the run game?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, our offense gives us some challenges out there when they come up with their new stuff and their trick plays, whatever they do on offense. But, ODU is ODU, you know, we've seen their offense. I've seen it for 4 years now, playing for 3 years now. So a little bit the same, but, you know, they have different types of weapons and different schemes. So it should be fun to play out there on Saturday.
You played in a couple really close ODU games. Like, what's special about this rivalry?
Yeah, it's an in-state rivalry. It has a lot of implications on the Sun Belt East. Everyone loves to hype it up more than what it is, but, you know, for us, it's just another game. We're going to go out there, and I'm glad that we're at home this time with our crowd behind us. But, yeah, it's definitely a big game, but not trying to hype it up more than what it is.
Where has Colton Joseph improved the most from last year when you all faced him to when you see him on the tape and what he's done this year?
Yeah, I think he just looks more like a better quarterback than what he did last year. More mature, more poised in what he's doing. He's put up great numbers so far this season. You know, obviously looking at the game last week, we hope to do the same as what Marshall kind of did. But, yeah, he looks like a very good quarterback, uses all of his weapons, and definitely going to have to hone in on the run game as well.
Would you say there's a little bit more you all have to game plan for this time around? Just seems like they've kind of have opened up the playbook a little bit more this year in respect to last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year they changed up their whole offense in the first half, so we had to kind of adjust to that. So, you know, their offense is their offense, and honing in on what we need to do as a defense and different types of checks and motions and stuff like that. But, you know, communication has to be really high, our intentionality through practice this week, and just giving 100% effort in practice. And, you know, the walkthroughs that we do on Friday and Saturday before the game are the biggest things that we need to do. So just honing in on that type of stuff and being locked into your keys.
They really spread out their offense and trying to spread you guys out as a defense. How challenging is that, and what are some keys against a team like that?
Yeah, I think it is challenging, you know, especially like when you're playing zone and spreading everybody out. It can hit for the run game, but no, I think our nickel is one of the best in the country. I feel like our corners are very good in man-to-man coverage. So, you know, if we can play man-to-man coverage against them and stop the run game, I think we should be fine. But, you know, it's definitely a lot of communication that goes into the wide stuff and the tight end motioning into the backfield and different type of T-pipe and, you know, T whatever he's doing. But, no, it should be a good challenge, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
Was it nice to finally get the first turnover since the Louisville game?
Goodness gracious. We've been harping on that ever since the Louisville game. So, yes, it is very nice, but we definitely had more opportunities in that game to get more turnovers. So,
I ran into your parents down in Atlanta, and they were trying to tell me some things to ask you at certain points in times, and we'll get more of those probably at some point. But they said you're very particular with your hair and getting it cut by a certain person or not, and you can't just get it cut. Is that true?
It's very true. I just started going to a person down here that I started to trust a little bit more. So when I don't have a cut for about a month or 2 months, it's that reason that I can't get in there. But yeah, it's very particular. I don't really like a lot of people touching my hair. So yeah.
Is Coach going to let you wear neon green cleats again after the toe tap interception?
I think he needs to let me wear those every single game. No, it was a lot of conversations between me and him, just seeing if I should actually wear them or not. And I'm glad that he finally decided to let me wear them so that they could see it on film. So
Between the three of Alonzo as well, or is that a surprise him wearing neon cleats as well?
yeah, me and Zoe were in the hotel Friday night, and Chesney came up to us and he was like, "Do you guys really want to wear those cleats?" And you know, we were pleading with him to make sure he let us wear it. So it was a lot of conversations before Saturday.
I have one to finish off with. What's your message to the fans as you get ready for a big in-state game and how important they play a part in what you guys want to do out there when you think of those pivotal plays? How important are they to you guys?
Yeah, don't leave at halftime. No matter what the score is, no matter what's going on in the game, we're going to start fast, we're going to finish fast, so don't leave at halftime. It's going to be an exciting game.